McDade, aka the Pirate Hunter, and this is my final reveal of Revell's Rat Fink kit from originally, I believe, 1965. The box that I built showed was in 1990, and I understand that it was reboxed again in 2017 with some little cardboard buildings that you fold out to put together to go along with it. The original kit I built in 1965 was not that great from the molds, and I can tell you the 1990 kit was not upgraded as far as the molds. So I don't know what the 2017 one is. The fit on this was not the greatest, as I said in my second video, and the paint on this, the finish on it was almost like a gel coat. The primer just didn't want to stick good to it. You would clean it, as I said in the other one, and anything you would touch it, it looked dirty. I had issues with the primer not sticking, and when I would go to mask to shoot the different colors, it would peel. So what I ended up doing was doing it the old school way from when I used to paint on cars and bikes, and you take your tape and put it across your pant leg or across your shirt and then take it off, and it takes a large amount of the stickiness off. This is how I managed to finally get it masked and get the tape peeled off without peeling all the tape all the way down to the white plastic again. The only place it did was on the RF when I peeled that off, and it was one little tiny spot, which was no big thing. The paint color, the green, is a combination of every color green I have from Model Master on it. The lower lip was, I think, zinc chromate primer I used on it. The toenails are painted a yellow on it, and the back where the fingernails are on the hands and the back are also painted yellow. This doesn't show it up good, shows it almost as a white. And I've got a lot of reflection off the yellow. You can see down by the garbage can. You can see where the Rat Fink has relieved himself on the side of the garbage can. You can see it puddled up inside the seams there. And when you look up close, it runs underneath the garbage can. If you look right here, you can see underneath the edge of this a pair of eyes looking out of there and a set of Mickey Mouse ears. On top of this, you can see a band Mickey Mouse with a red circle through it. The Rat Fink was the anti-Mickey Mouse. It was created by Ed, Big Daddy Roth, and this is where it come from. On the front of the barrel, it has a help me sign that I made and put on there. The barrel I made from a pill bottle. I cut the top off the pill bottle, the threaded portion, then I took and heated the bottom with a cigarette lighter and pushed it down on a flat surface to give the ring around it. Then I took and spun the barrel while I had a cigarette lighter to heat the center section. Then I squoze that down, and where I got it on there too much is where I opened it up where the sign that says help me is in there. The top of the garbage can I did the same thing with. I just heated it with a cigarette lighter a little bit, then just squoze it down on a flat surface. I took and the cigarette butts, which you can see right here, I'm sorry for the whiteout on this, cigarette butt here, and the wine bottle, and the cigarette butt in the back, which you really can't see because of the way this is. The cigarette butt in the back I took and made out of a two-part epoxy resin that you squeeze together and mix it together so you get the two different colors that become one color, and that's what I made it out of. I let them dry, then I painted them. The tail that has the bandage around it, I took and made the bandage out of a thing that I found that was paper handkerchiefs, and it was called Solil or something like that, and it's really good stuff to use for this. It's a pretty good quality type paper. I don't even know where I got it, but it works really good for this. The red was a combination of different colors of reds mixed together, shot over different colored reds. It has a total of 8 coats of clear on it. I took and did on the head where you can see all the dirty, looks like dirty creases that haven't been washed out for a long time on it. I took them and I did the oil paint wash with a black and a burnt umber combination, and I used cigarette lighter fluid as a thinner for it instead of the turquoise, because I gave the turquoise to my wife to use to clean her brushes with for a project she had. I've been using it for a little while now, and it works pretty good. On his right ear, you can see where he has an earring that I put on, because back in the 50s and 60s, when this first really came out, men didn't wear earrings. It was, oh no, sailors did a little bit, but no, real men didn't wear earrings. Just trust me, ask my dad. And on his left shoulder, you can't see it really good on this. See if I can get it where it shows it. I put a tattoo, and most people really had a thing against tattoos. Tattoos have just lately become so common. It's like going down to the driver's license division and getting a driver's license. Oh, whoops, I'll just stop and get a tattoo. They are so accepted by society. Back in the 60s, they weren't that really accepted at times in a lot of small-town USA. And in the tattoo, it has an ER, which stands for Ed Roth. The base is my standard plywood base that I build for a lot of my small dioramas. And what I do is I've got some pieces of plywood. I just glue them together. I clamp them together. Then I have a jigsaw that I bought for $5 at a yard sale, and a bench sander that was another $5 buy at a yard sale. So I cut them out, rough cut them out with the jigsaw. Then I sand them to fit the shape I want on it. Then I take and I seal them, usually with polyurethane. And I thought about doing a decoupage on this from the Rat Fink box on the base where his tail is, but I got reading and I found out if you use varnish, it'll work a lot better than polyurethane. So I didn't do it on that. And what I do is I just seal it, sand it, and seal it, sand it, seal it, sand it. And so what I do, it gives me a very, very smooth finish. Now the Rat Fink on it, the RF, is hand painted. It's fuzzy sticked totally. I took and I was so leery of peeling any more paint on this. I found out I didn't peel as bad after I shot clear coat on it, but I thought, no, we will just do this all in fuzzy stick. So the RF on it has been done in gold paint that was done by hand. The top of the base here, where, see if I can get this, but I think you're going to get, I've just got so much white on this, that it is, let me move this, see if that helps. No, that really didn't help that much. You can see it looks like a piece of, there, we got it. It looks like a piece of concrete that has been just pulled out of the ground. There you can see the cigarette butts. The coloration on the cigarette butts a little better. And the thing for Mickey Mouse and the rocks. What I did is I used Smooth It on it from Woodland Scenics, which they use for making roads on train layouts. And I took and I didn't seal it first. I didn't use their paint, and which I probably should have, but I didn't have any. It was at night, yada yada, the whole deal. And so I took, and what I did is I used a clay wash by UMP and put it over the top of it. Let me tell you about that. That takes, and it takes forever to dry that way. Believe me, I just would not recommend doing it that way. I would probably seal it first. And then even trying to get this to seal, using clear, using seal, every kind of stuff, it just soaks into it so much. Now the paint they use from Woodland Scenics, I've never used. and I understand it's supposed to seal it pretty good. You can get a gray concrete like this, basically like this, or you can get a black asphalt one. The tray that is on is from one of my old cheap seat series I did a bunch of years ago that I think are all lost because of the Google YouTube fiasco. Same as I have two channels now, one which is Terry McDade, the one that this is on. Then I have another one called Pirate Hunter, P-I-R-8-H-N-T-R, which has a lot of my old videos on it of real-life weathering things that I went out and found and stuff like this, and some of my original builds and real kit reviews. But trying to get a hold of Google or YouTube to get anything straightened out on something like that is kind of like breeding elephants, I'm finding out. Takes 2 years, it's all done at a high level, and a lot of hollering and screaming go on, I guess. So I haven't got any response from them on it. But it's a fun kit. I wouldn't recommend it to a little kid to start. If you have a kid that has been modeling for a while, and it would be a good kit for them, or somebody that wants to learn to mask and use airbrushes and things like that, this would be a good kit, because there's really some fit issues on this, especially up here, right underneath the ears. There was a really big seam up there, and it took a lot to get that to fill, and I tried sanding other pieces to get it together on the body, but then you get that to fit, then this wouldn't fit, then you try to get that to fit, and then this wouldn't fit. So I just got it as good as I could and glued it together. Now, I don't remember in one of the others I talked about the glue issues on this, but this thing really likes Tamiya Extra Thin. It will melt this thin plastic just right now. So I used a lot of the Tester's regular glue for putting the parts together. On the Tamiya Extra Thin, I would use it to help soften the plastic to try to form it to fit, which kind of sort of worked. But then when you sand it down, it's so thin right there through the seams, you get the holes in it, then you're back with the sealer again and everything else. Now on the tail, what I did is I took and just heated the tail with a cigarette lighter and just bent it to fit where I wanted it on it, and that's why it is down like that, because normally it comes out flat. Now on the paint that I used, as I said, it was Model Master or Vallejo Air. I used all water thinning on it. I didn't use any of the UMP thinners on it. I have used them in the past, and so this one I have been experimenting a little bit on using just straight water to thin paint to shoot, and it's a real learning curve, because a lot of times where I live in my shop, it's between 90 and 96 degrees with a very low double-digit or single-digit humidity. So when I was using the UMP thinners, it would have a tendency to just flash so fast. I had issues with it. I really did. So by going to that, it helps on the way it sticks. I don't have the issues with it flashing too fast. Now, when I shot some of this, it had it was a rainy day with about 98% humidity in the rain, so you have to adjust your thinning on that. But I like using just the straight water on it. It works for me. And right here on the side of him, that is a white mark that got on it that I started to try to take out of it, and as I did, it just got a little bit bigger. I already had, I don't know where it come from, I already had 3 coats of clear on this when this showed up. Like I said, I don't know where it came from. And another thing I did learn on this, speaking of learning curves, is several people, especially Cohen C, was talking about on one of his build videos about using the pens to do panel lines. I learned on this one that if you do that, believe me, it will just not be a good day on it. I learned the hard way on it. I had to take paint off to try to fix it because it just didn't work good. As soon as I hit it with any paint, it just took and just run. And it run where I didn't want it to run. So I would recommend not using the pens, the little, because I've got a whole bunch of them, the little pens with the fine tips on different colors. But all things considered, it doesn't really show good on it. But the eyes are a light yellow, and the eyes on the original Rat Fink were black. The new kit, I believe, has red eyes in it. But if you want to buy a kit, I got this one off of eBay, and I think it was $20 some odd. It's what I paid for it. A little high for kind of what you get. But if you want something that you can put together and have a lot of fun airbrushing with, you can do so many different color variations on this. But a lot of this I fuzzy stick. I did the eyes. I did the behind the eyes. I did the mouth. I did the teeth with a fuzzy stick. So it's just a lot of fun to do. If I was to do another one, there's several things I would try on it. One of which is cutting out the mouth around the teeth. Just having an opening back in there. So it's a good kit. Would I recommend it? Yeah, it's a fun kit. Takes a little bit on seam filling. If you want to do it with a kid that you're working with, trying to teach how to mask and airbrush, really good kit to do that, because it's got enough detail on it that really they can learn a lot on this doing it. It didn't supposed to. Oh, also you can see, I didn't mention, you can see he's got armpit hair sticking out on that side and on this side. I went with a total scroungy guy look on him. The couple people have asked me where the hairs come from on it, and I said, don't ask. Some things are better off unknown. But where it come from, I had a really stiff bristle brush that I put, tried to get to take black paint, but it did, but it really didn't. It just kind of fell off of it. I'll go back and touch it up again. One thing on the Mickey Mouse in the garbage can, I'm still trying to find me a little solid Mickey Mouse, or I'll make just kind of one out of the two-part epoxy that I made the cigarette butts and the bottle with and put inside there. So the lid's not on totally tight on it. It's just tacked on, and so's the ears in there, so I can make the changes on it. So there you are. As I said, go check out my other channel, PIR8HNTR, and or this one that you're watching this on is Terry McDade. And to everybody out there, take care of yourself and each other, to quote the great Jerry Springer. Thanks for watching the video.